I am Alhaji Kabiru Ajayi Olatubosun. I happen to be the Community Liaison Officer of Ogun-Guangdong Free Trade Zone, Igbesa. I'm a bona fide indigenous of Igbesa community, and I'm a community man to the core. I think I have numerous responsibilities, but the major one is that I am to interface between the community and the Ogun-Guangdong Free Trade Zone. Issues bordering the community that affect the Free Trade Zone, I have to relate it to the Free Trade Zone and find ways and manners in resolving it. And issue bordering the Free Trade Zone to the community, it is also my responsibility to talk to the community leaders and elders in finding a way of, coming together and to interface between the community and the Free Trade Zone. Well, to the best of my knowledge, I think when I assumed the position of the Community Liaison Officer, I did some investigation within my own capacity to know what land acquisition is all about and to know maybe truly the land given to Ogun-Guangdong Free Trade Zone was given to Ogun-Guangdong Free Trade Zone by the government. From the community, there was a letter written to the Bureau of Land and Survey, and from the Zone 2, to have a copy of the C of O, which was given to us. In the C of O, I realized that the land, the 2,000 plus hectares that was given to the Free Trade Zone, was part of the land given to OPIC. And OPIC, the government has acquired this said land far back 1977, and it was transferred to OPIC in the year 1983 or so. So it is part of the 8,000 hectares of land given to OPIC that 2,000 hectares was released to the Ogun-Guangdong Free Trade Zone. Immediately after that, we look at the issue of compensation. We had some complaints. The Aino families were not compensated, and the former management, some who has, developed their land. What I did was to meet the management of Ogun-Guangdong Free Trade Zone, which is China Africa Investment FZC, to discuss with them elaborately that it is not very fair for the government or for the land to be used without compensation being paid. I think within the capacity of the Free Trade Zone, the China Africa, ideally, it is not their duty to pay compensation. They have an agreement with the Aino family, and they pay them compensation. Are you getting me? After seeking approval from the government. More to that, I think when I assumed the position of the Community Liaison Officer, the government has done some things. Twice they've paid compensation to the community. We met with the then SSD, and we did put the complaint on his table and instructed the Ministry of Agric to switch into action. They came to the community and enumeration was done. First, they were paid. Second time, they were paid. The third one that was done has not been paid yet. But I think the government is doing every necessary thing possible to make sure that the last enumeration done is going to be paid. To the best of my knowledge, 70% to 80% of the croppers have been compensated. Well, let me start from the issue of employment. Ogun-Guangdong Free Trade Zone has many enterprises. Over 40 enterprises. And, their employment is not centralized. Each enterprise is employed by themselves. It is not being controlled before now, it has not been controlled by the managing company of Ogun-Guangdong Free Trade Zone, which is China African Investment FZC. Before now, we've been having issues on employment, and definitely, if I really want to do my job very well, I think an idle hand, they say, is the devil's workshop. So in order to avoid this, most of our youth should be engaged in doing one or two things. But sometimes we've been having serious issues on employment. But sometimes last year, around September, October, we came to an agreement that some of our youths were employed as community recruitment officer, which is under the Human Resources Department of the China African Investment FZC. Their office is stationed at the gate where most of these enterprises come to employ. So whenever any enterprises is coming to employ now, they will visit the community recruitment office there to tell them that they want to employ. So if they are employing like 10, the community can give them like 6 or 5. Are you getting me? So far, so good. As regards semi-skilled and unskilled employment, we've been having our due share. But when it comes to the skilled employment, we are still having some issues. I think we are resolving that, and some of our people have been engaged. Just yesterday, sometimes in December, some people were called upon for an interview from the community, which are graduates, and some of them were called back yesterday for oral interview. I think we are improving on that, on employment. Well, as regards corporate social responsibility, I think Rome wasn't built in a day, and we have a lot of industries and firms around Igbesa. But sincerely speaking, Ogun-Guangdong Free Trade Zone has been doing wonderfully well. We can see the road, which is part of the CSR also, because the community, they are not going to pay for the tolls. We have this Nigerian-China Friendship School, model school, being built by this same organization. We have this maternity building, which was also built by this organization. 2 of our indigenes are now in China on scholarship. Amuri Rokibat and Ajose Ridwan, they are both studying mechanical engineer in a Nantong University in China, called China African Investment FZC. They finish their ND. The process is after ND, they will go for their degree. They've completed their ND. And China Africa has also sponsored them for their degree. So this is part of what they have done. Though we are still agitating for more, Oliver Twist will always ask for more. During the pandemic, initially they first of all gave the community 1.5 million to purchase some nose masks, hand sanitizer, and the rest. Following that, palliative was also sent. Even last year, December, drugs were given to our maternity centers. Malaria drugs were given to our maternity centers. Nose masks was also distributed. And even during the last year too, there are some empowerment programs for the tailors and the less privileged people that are engaged, that is into barbing. So I think they've been trying their best on the corporate social responsibility, but we still need more from their end. One thing about we are worried is that we don't joke with our land. So definitely people, whenever it comes to the issue of land, you just have to be careful and do your best. Well, I will not be completely blaming those people that are agitating, but where they are facing, the China Africa, they are fighting, the Chinese, they are fighting, and not those people that are supposed to fight. As rightly said within the interview, the state government equity on this business, Ogun State equity on this business is land. And 2,000 plus hectares of land were given as their own equity to the business. I think our people should channel their agitation to the state government. Well, Alhaji Kabiru Ajayi Olatubosun has a name to protect, and definitely I would not engage in any shady deal with the Chinese, but I have to mediate. One thing that I saw is that in the next 10 years, I think everybody able land in Igbesa will be fixed. And if I now see a project that would bring this to reality, I think I need to give the project my 100% support. In recent past, we will go to Agbara to be seeking for a job. A lot of our people that are graduate couldn't get a job. They engage in unnecessary things. Their life has been changed to, they are not living a very good life because they didn't see a good job. But with the, coming of this free trade zone, I think a lot of our people have been doing one or two things. They've been engaged. So that is why some of us are supporting the zone, but not at the detriment of our people. As long as the government is doing their bit, the community should be doing their bit. I think what we need is to, jointly support the free trade zone. Let's work hand in glove. If we want to work hand in glove, the community is going to enjoy the more. I think the free trade zone has not, for any time, used or encroached into a land that has not been allocated to them. So I have not compromised, and I will never do that. The community elders and leaders are supporting the free trade zone because they know the concept of the zone. They know what the zone is all about. And we are very lucky in Igbesa. Out of all the free trade zone that was, established in Nigeria, Ogun-Guangdong Free Trade Zone is one of the free trade zones that is growing. There is no doubt about that. We have a lot of free trade zones, which governments of the state give them even up to 10,000 hectares. They've not even done anything. But the Ogun-Guangdong Free Trade Zone is progressing, and that is our own prayer. Thank you very much.